Hi, today we are going to talk about what is corruption and the case of Siemens. Corruption is defined as the abuse of power in order to obtain a personal gain. For example, when a person, this being a politician or any normal person, takes the money that should go to the majority of people or any other destination in an illegal way. There are three types of corruption. Grand corruption is the one that takes place at the highest levels. It does not matter the action as much as where it takes place. Petty is a day-to-day corruption. For example, when you give money to a cop in order to avoid a ticket. Political corruption takes two factors, a private one and a public one. For example, a politician and an institution. The institution deviates its funds to the politician instead of getting to where it should be. Now let's give some examples. Fraud is a type of corruption when an individual takes unexpected turns, hits money, and takes it to places where it shouldn't be illegally in order to obtain a personal benefit. Institutional corruption is when any kind of institution, especially political ones, deviate its ways in order to give benefits to some people instead of the majority or to the programs where it should be taken. Of bribery, we are going to talk about later, but it's basically when Subject A offers money or any other kind of resources to Subject B in exchange for Subject B's services. The corruption here takes place both in the one who offers money and the one who takes the money. But who are really affected by corruption? Sadly, it's the majority of people, hardworking and normal people who just didn't get what they should be getting, and also the ones who commit the corruption can lose their freedom, their money, and their health. Other repercussions are political repercussions, economical, social, and environmental repercussions. Now let's get to Siemens. Siemens gave money to foreign enterprises in an illegal way in order to avoid taxes, and all this to protect their company, supposedly. By 1999, there was no law who prohibited this, but when it was created, people simply hid the money instead of stopping this kind of bribery. It is not as simple as to hid the money and take it somewhere else. It is a really complicated process that does not go linear, but rather takes turns and go to places where sometimes it violates human rights, in order for people to get what they want. This corruption scandal of Siemens also caused a loss of jobs of people who were involved, but sometimes of people who weren't involved. What is the real cost that Siemens had to pay? Monetarily speaking, it had to pay $1.6 billion in order to settle, which is a big loss, as well as the employees that we talk about and a media scandal because of the corruption. So what did Siemens do? Well, first, it investigated and fired every single employee that was colluded in the corruption, and it created a task force in order to supervise closely and make sure that the rules were being followed. Siemens also replaced top managers and executives because they wanted to make a real change of the company. They needed a change of ways after that, so they created a series of steps which included an amnesty program. The amnesty program included an incentive for people to denounce any kind of suspicious movements, because they were more welcoming in these aspects. Also, they implemented harder internal controls and they tomed from top, which means that the top executives had to be the best of the best. The compliance program was rather controversial because it created a series of evaluations in order to see if people were complying. But how could you possibly evaluate this? Besides this weird form of evaluating, the compliance program also included a book of rules against corruption and incentives for communication within the enterprises. Incentives meant that people who communicated any kind of suspicious activity were gonna get a reward. And of settlings we already talked about, monetarily speaking. We agree with the changes made by Siemens because we believe that corruption at the end only affects the majority of people. with this kind of changes, even if a law does not enforce it, we create a culture of honesty, where the majority of people gets benefited and not only people who have power. Sadly, corruption exists all around the world, but with changes like this, we can't erase it with education, information, and a culture of honesty. At the end, we can't get loose of all the corrupt people and make sure that we all have people that use the resources for the benefit of the majority. Thank you.